Hi, everybody. We are your Coronado High School counselors. I'm Miss Johnson, and students on my caseload have last names H to O.
Hi guys, my name's Miss Goldman and my students have last names A through G.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Cummins and I work with students with last names P through Z.
So we hope that you find this information on our video helpful. We're going to go over a course selection sheet and some other paperwork to help you get prepared for a successful ninth grade year at Coronado High School. So the first thing we're going to do is to start going over your paperwork. So this is the packet, the 23-24 course selection sheet for incoming Islanders. So there's a number of steps that you need to follow. The first one is watch the course selection video. Ta-da, that's us. Attend Future Islander Night on February 22. That's really fun. You'll get to meet a lot of teachers. You'll see clubs get set up. There's elective teachers that want to have you sign up for their very exciting classes. It's going to be really informal and a lot of fun. So please bring your parents and come on out. We're going to review the Coronado High School graduation and college admission requirements, which are called the A through G requirements. If you're a planner, we've included some paperwork so you could fill out a 4-year plan. And we've included some sample 4-year plans just so that you can start thinking about all 4 years of high school. We're going to ask that you complete the course request form to identify course selections for next year. You must complete 8 selections, including off-roll selections. Don't worry about that. We're going to explain everything on here. You have to enter 3 alternate elective choices on your course request form. And then you need to return the paper copy of your course request form to your 8th grade science teacher by Friday, February 24th. And then Mr. Cummins will be meeting each and every one of you in March and April to confirm your courses. So before we start with everything, we want to send a message of please do not stress. A lot of the information that we give you is general information and guidance for everybody, but everybody's situation is specific. So don't worry if you have questions beyond what we can answer in today's lesson. When you meet with Mr. Cummins individually, we invite your parents to come to those meetings. You'll get your questions answered. So here we go. Okay. The first part of your packet is the Coronado High School graduation requirements. These are very similar to 4-year college requirements. They're just slightly different. You need 4 years of English to graduate. You need integrated math 1, 2, and 3. You need 3 years of history. Now, freshmen are not required to take history, and then you will take world history as a sophomore, US history as a junior, and government econ as a senior. You also have to take a series of science classes to graduate. Biochem, and physics. Everybody has to take 2 years of PE. That is a California state requirement to graduate. You will need a year of visual performing arts or world language. Again, this is just to graduate. This is not for 4-year college. And then you will take 70 elective classes, and those are fun classes that you choose based on your interests and passions for a total of 230 credits to graduate. These are the 4-year college requirements. Now, the University of California and California State University call their entrance requirements the A through G requirements. Each letter is attached to a different subject area. And the reason why we want you to get familiar with these things is because we would like everyone to be eligible to apply to a 4-year college when they're a senior. That's keeping your options open is a great idea. So A, the history requirement, you have to have 2 years to apply to college, but we make you take 3 to graduate, so you'll be all set. English, 4 years to graduate, and 4 years for college entrance. Math is also the same. Math 1, 2, and 3 to graduate. It's a little bit different. If you look in the A through G column, 3 years is required, but top schools, including San Diego State and the UC system, really recommend that you take 4 years, including a math class every single year of high school. Science, you need 2 years with a recommended 3 for college. We got you there because it's 3 years just to graduate, so you'll be all set with science. Now, here's where the requirements are a little bit different. To get into college, you need 2 years of the same world language, C- or higher. And then you also need 1 year of a visual or performing art. So if you're taking world language at CHS, the options are Spanish and French. And just something to keep in mind. So say you took Spanish 1A and B at the middle school and you come to high school and you take Spanish 2, technically you've completed your requirement, but you'll notice under the UC A through G requirements, they want 3 years of a language. Another good idea why it's a good idea to take 3 years of a language, because if you do, you are not required to take a general education language course as an undergraduate student at Cal State or UC. You need 1 year of a visual or performing arts to be eligible to go to college. And then you'll see the G is academic approved electives. Those are from multiple categories. You will meet that requirement without even realizing it. And then you'll notice you don't need PE to get into college, but you need 2 years to graduate. Now, here is a place where you can fill in a sample 4-year plan for yourself. Lots of my students are planners and they get very excited about planning out all 4 years. We think it's a great tool to get you excited about high school and to kind of start planning your future. This is only a planning tool. It's nothing to get stressed out. And then right underneath that, this is a graduation progress tracking tool that we sometimes use if kids come in and they want to see, how they're doing, if they're on track to graduate or for college, and we use that. So we're included this in your packet. We hope you find it useful. And then scrolling along, here's some sample 4-year plans. So the first one is a college prep 4-year plan without any AP or honors classes. And we'll get to what honors and AP classes are in a minute. And then if you scroll down, an advanced track, for a very, very strong student, here's an example of advanced 4-year track. I'm going to stop here a minute. You do not need to take APs and honors in every single subject to get into a good college. The rule of thumb is to take honors and AP classes and courses that you are interested in and passionate about. So for example, if Mr. Cummins is a STEM student and maybe he wants to study engineering someday, what classes do you think you should be taking upper levels in, Mr. Cummins?
Probably, I'm thinking my math and science classes.
That is absolutely correct.
But what about history or English?
Well, we have lots of COSA students and some of them want to go to college for music or art. So they might be a little bit stronger in the humanities or history. So they might take AP classes in English and history. Okay, we're going to keep going. College prep for IEP supported students. This is just another example of a 4-year plan you can take a look at. And then lastly, we have some sample COSA 4-year plans. So again, these are only planning tools. We hope you find these useful.
Ms. Johnson, what is COSA?
COSA is Coronado School of the Arts. So if you're not familiar, we have a conservatory program where you can do intensive study with after-school courses in digital media, musical theater, instrumental music, visual arts, technical theater, and dance. Okay,
Awesome. Thanks.
here we go. 9th grade CHS course offerings. So registration guidelines, these are some of our basic rules about scheduling. Students, even though it says you must take a minimum of 6 courses, we generally require all 9th graders to take 8 classes. The reason for that is because research shows that if you start with 8 classes, you're going to be more involved in the campus. And those 2 extra classes are going to be fun classes that you pick out yourself based on your interest. If you feel there's some reason why you would be eligible for an off-roll, you can talk to Mr. Cummins about that. But as a general expectation, we expect all 9th grade students to take 8 courses. Grade level priority will be given to all courses, and courses may be canceled due to insufficient enrollment or staffing restrictions. That's a very fancy way to say basically some of our popular elections fill up with seniors and juniors. Not to worry, there's a place on this form where you can tell us your alternate electives that you would like in case something gets filled up with upperclassmen. Also, we have to have about 25 or 30 kids sign up for an elective class for it to be taught. So if we don't have enough interest, it might be canceled, and then we would go to your alternate electives to fill that space. And then course term placement is subject to change, no teacher or period requests considered. What that means is you cannot choose your teachers. You cannot email us and be like, I want Mrs. Such and such instead of Mr. So-and-so for math. Unfortunately, we cannot honor those requests. nor can you come to us and say, I want English first period and science second period. Unfortunately, we also cannot honor those types of requests. Okay, now the fun.
Can I pick which terms the classes are in?
The only time, yes, you can, Mr. Cummins, and that will make more sense as we go along. For sequence courses, you can, and for AP courses, you can, but I'm going to explain that as we go along. I promise that you will understand that by the end of this video. Okay, so you will see that this is arranged along the lines of UC A through G requirements to get you used to the terminology. So the first one, A, social science, remember that's the history requirement, which freshmen don't take, so you don't have to worry about it. Next, B, English. Everyone takes freshman English. It's a home base where you get lots of information about the high school. We don't have an honors version, so everyone is going to fill in 0146, and that's one class. Okay, now, Mr. Cummins, in order to answer your question about which term some classes are taught, here's math. Before you fill out anything, here's the general rule. For all of your academic classes, especially for math, we go off of 8th grade teacher recommendations. But in general, if you're in Math 8 this year, you'll be taking Math 1 next year. If you're in 8th grade taking Math 1, you will be taking Math 2 at the high school. And if you're taking Math 3, maybe some of you are, then you would be going into pre-cal. Now, our Bell schedule, the 4x4, allows you to take classes that are the beginning level in the fall and the advanced level in the spring. So that's a very popular option for math. So say Miss Goldman is taking Math 8 at CMS and she wants to take 2 math classes next year. She wants to take Math 1 in the fall, and there's the course code 4510 fall, and then she's going to fill in another line and take Math 2 in the spring, which is 4513S. So whenever you see an F or an S, that means fall or spring. I'm going to stop for a minute. The Bell schedule here is you take 4 classes in the fall. They start in August, they end in January, and then you have a whole other first day of school in January, and you take 4 different new classes from January to June. So that's why it's possible to take 2 math classes in the same year.
How exciting.
Okay, next, lab science. Freshmen are required to take science, and this is very simple. If you are starting in Math 1, even if you sequence to Math 2, you must take biology. You must take biology. I'm going to say that again. If you're starting in Math 1 in the fall, you must take biology. If you're starting in Math 2, you may take chemistry, 3119. So because Miss Goldman took Math 8, she's going to start with biology. So good job, Miss Goldman. Okay, now we're going to come up against the electives. So these are all the fun classes that you get to pick out. The other category of classes that are very popular to sequence is world language. Again, we offer French and Spanish, and I'm going to back up now. If you read, write, and speak Spanish or French fluently, meaning you can write essays, you can carry on a conversation, you may sign up for Spanish 3. Spanish 3 at the high school is taught entirely in Spanish, and it's our version of Spanish for native speakers. So if you're not too sure that you're a strong Spanish speaker, then I would advise you not to sign up for that. If you took Spanish 1A and B at the middle school and did well with your world language teacher's recommendation, you may start in Spanish 2. If you would like to take 2 world languages in the same year, you are allowed to. So for example, Miss Goldman, did you take any world language in middle school?
I didn't take any Spanish or French yet.
Okay. Would you like to take 2 world languages
I think
next
so.
year?
I'd rather get them both over with.
Okay. I would just caution you that you have elected to take 2 math classes, and now you're elected to take 2 world language classes, which is great to get them out of the way. But I would definitely suggest you want to pick some easier, fun electives for the next round of classes. So let's count up and see how many classes you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So you could pick out 2 more. There's one more requirement to talk about. So before I go through the rest of the electives, let's go to PE. Everyone has to take freshman PE. You cannot opt out of it. You cannot take it online. You must take it in person at CHS because it has a health component and the state of California requires this. Your choices are freshman PE, freshman dance, or NJROTC. All of those classes meet the first year requirement, and you'll see there's a 1 already on the form for you, so you know you have to take it. So which one do you want to take?
I think NJROTC sounds really fun.
I think NJROTC is a great choice. They do lots of field trips and activities that you can join. There's tutoring after school. Everyone hangs around in their classroom. It's really a homey place. And if you want to get connected, we really recommend ROTC. Okay, now back up. Remember, Ms. Goldman, that's 7. And remember, I warned you to
for one more.
take a fun elective. So let me go over some of the categories. Visual and performing arts, you'll notice a whole bunch of things listed there. Now, if you're interested in learning more about this, then you would go to the CHS website under the Academics and Counseling tab, and we have a course catalog where you can look up any course that you are interested in and read all about it. And you can also come to Future Islander Night and meet the elective teachers
That's
yourself. So you could take a fine art elective, you could take a college prep elective, the next category. Okay, Mr. Cummins, here's where I'm going to answer your questions about APs. Do you know what an AP class is, Mr. Cummins?
I don't. Can you tell me more about it?
Sure. Advanced placement classes are 4-year college level classes taught at the high school level. They move fast and they're rigorous. There's 2 options for freshman students, and that's AP Human Geography, which is a social science elective. It does not get you out of world history as a sophomore, and AP Computer Science Principles. I will warn you, AP Comp Sci Principles is a super, super popular class, so you could try for it. You might not get in as a freshman. On the other hand, AP Human Geography is also super popular, but last year, most of my freshmen were able to get themselves into AP Human Geography. There's an optional test at the end of all AP courses, and if you score high enough, you may opt out of that class at the 4-year college level. You do not, however, if you don't take and pass the test, so just keep that in mind. You'll also notice that AP courses are bolded as well as our honors courses. There's also a course right there called Honors Project Lead the Way Human Body Systems. So honors courses and AP courses are weighted in the GPA configuration. Do you know what that means, Mr. Cummins?
What does that mean?
That means if you get an A, instead of it counting as a 4 in your GPA, it counts as a 5. So if you were to sign up for a number of classes and AP Human Geography and got straight A's, you would have a 4.1 GPA. Okay? Okay, here's some other electives and then off-rolls. This is probably not going to apply to the majority of you with one exception. If you play a freshman sport, you may consider taking an off-roll so that you're not missing an academic class 4th period, in which case you might choose a 4th period off-roll in the fall or the spring. In general, fall 4th period off-rolls are for fall sports. And what other sports, Mr. Cummins?
Winter, because I play basketball.
Right. So you would pick fall off-roll 4th period. And if you have any questions about which season sports are, Mr. Cummins can answer your questions because he's also our varsity baseball coach. Okay, one last thing, Associated Student Body, ASB, that is by application only, and you can talk to the 8th grade ASB teacher if you're interested. And then COSA conservatory programs, you will notice all of the 6 programs are listed there, and it will tell you to request them once or twice. So for example, if you're in digital arts, it says request once, and you would only list 1715 one time. If you've applied to COSA and haven't heard or are still thinking about applying, you can go ahead and put it in. And then if you don't get in, then we're going to go to your alternate electives. So Ms. Goldman, I believe
for one more class.
Yes, you got to pick one more elective.
I've heard art is really fun, so I think I want to try that.
Okay. So now you have your 8 courses.
8 total. Am I done?
No, you are not done. Okay. So before we fill out your name and all that other stuff, alternate electives, very, very important. Make sure you pick 3 backup electives that you would be happy to have in your schedule in the order of importance. So alternate elective 1 should be the one you're most excited about, and then so forth. You must fill this in. If you don't, then Mr. Cummins is going to have you fill it in when you meet with him. And again, the reason for that is if you pick something that fills up with upperclassmen or gets canceled, we want to know what you want to take instead. If you do not fill these out, the computer will put you in any open elective, and we don't want that to happen. So while Miss Goldman figures out what other electives she wants to take, make sure that you sign this and that you put your cell phone or your parent's cell phone if you prefer. And then on the very bottom, please put an email that someone checks over the summer, not your school email. So it could be Yahoo Mail, Gmail. If you don't check an email frequently, please put your parents' email, because sometimes we'll have a question about what classes you want to take and we will contact you over the summer. You must sign it and your parent must sign it for Mr. Cummins to accept the form. You must have a parent's signature. So there we have it, future Islanders. That's everything, unless Mr. Cummins or Miss Goldman has any questions for me.
When is Future Islander night?
Future Islander night is
Wednesday, February 2nd, 5 p.m. on the CHS campus.
any other questions?
Nope.
All right, future Islanders, we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.